Today we're talking survival games on Nintendo Switch, new releases, upcoming titles, and a few you might have missed. Some are already out, others are just around the corner, but they all put your survival skills to the test. So let's not waste time. Here are the best new survival games you can play on Switch. The creepy co-op horror platformer is back, and this time it's bringing survival vibes into the mix. You and a partner, either online or via AI, navigate through the eerie realm of The Spiral, trying to escape grotesque creatures and environmental death traps. Unlike previous entries, this one leans more into puzzle survival, making every move feel like a fight for your life. The atmosphere is dripping with dread, the visuals are hauntingly beautiful, and the tension is always just one wrong step away. Whether it's dodging a massive doll-like enemy or squeezing through collapsing tunnels, there's no room to relax. It may not be survival in the traditional sense with crafting or resource management, but the sheer fight-or-flight gameplay loop earns its place on this list. It's shaping up to be one of the most memorable horror survival experiences of the year. This one launched alongside the Switch 2 and plays like a stripped-down survival sim designed for all ages. You wake up stranded on a mysterious island and have to explore, collect resources, and craft tools to stay alive. The visuals are colorful and soft, but don't let that fool you. Behind its family-friendly style lies a pretty engaging gameplay loop. You'll build shelters, solve physics-based puzzles, and even deal with changing weather conditions that affect your survival. There's no combat here, but the emphasis on exploration and creativity gives it a solid spot on the list. It's not the deepest survival game out there, but it nails the fundamentals, especially if you're looking for something lighter or want to jump into the genre without getting overwhelmed. Think of it as a cozy survival gateway that still respects your time. This one's got some serious vibes. It's a dark, story-driven survival game where you play as two sisters trying to make it through a world that's completely lost its mind. Think overgrown forests, mutated wildlife, and mysterious structures that look like they shouldn't exist. The game's mostly about platforming, puzzle solving, and just trying to stay alive. You're not fighting back much here. It's more about sneaking past threats, working together, and managing limited resources. There's a strong cinematic feel to it, and the co-op element adds a nice twist. If you're into slower-paced survival with creepy atmosphere and emotional weight, REANIMAL looks like something worth watching. Definitely one of the more unique survival games coming to Switch 2. Next up, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Yeah, this one's already out, and if you've been following the series, you know what to expect. Creepy dolls, tight spaces, and plenty of nightmare fuel. But Chapter 4 pushes things further with more open areas, new enemies, and way more survival elements. You're not just running and hiding anymore. There's more interaction, more environmental puzzles, and moments where you really have to think fast or die trying. It's still very much horror first, but there's a strong focus on surviving with limited resources and avoiding instant death scenarios. The Switch version holds up surprisingly well, and the tension is just as real on the go. Not the most traditional survival game, but when you're trapped in a toy factory with monsters hunting you down, survival becomes your only goal. Next over at number we've got I Hate This Place. This one definitely caught our attention when it popped up during the Future Games show. It's an isometric survival horror game based on the cult favorite comic, and yeah, it's weird in the best way. You're dropped into a warped, monster-infested version of reality where your only goal is to not get ripped apart. There's crafting, base building, and that sweet day-night cycle that makes everything 10 times worse once the sun goes down. It's got a bit of that retro vibe too, with visuals that feel straight out of an old-school horror VHS tape. The devs are promising a lot: exploration, freaky creature encounters, and some gnarly survival systems. And so far, it looks like they're delivering. It's not out yet, but definitely one to keep on your radar if you're into survival horror with a bold comic-style twist. Next up, Spacepunk Survival. Yeah, the name kinda says it all. This is a neon-drenched, over-the-top survival shooter set on a crumbling space station overrun by chaos. Think endless enemy waves, tight corridors, and just enough story to keep things moving. It's more arcade style than deep sim, but there's still that core survival loop. Grabbing gear, holding off waves, and trying not to get wrecked by whatever comes through the next door. It's got that retro future aesthetic going, flashy effects, and some light crafting and upgrades in between the madness. It's not going to win awards for depth, but if you're into fast-paced, pulse-pounding survival with a horde mode flavor, this one delivers just enough to keep you locked in. On Switch, it runs fine, and it's perfect for quick bursts of chaotic survival action. Now moving on to Bullets and Brains. This one's a top-down zombie survival shooter that doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, but it doesn't need to. It throws you into tight arenas, arms you with a bunch of ridiculous weapons, and just says, go survive. The gameplay is fast, chaotic, and surprisingly addictive, especially with its arcade scoring system and co-op potential. You're managing ammo, dodging zombie swarms, and trying not to get cornered while grabbing upgrades mid-run. It's got a clean, almost cartoony look, but don't let that fool you. Things get overwhelming fast. There's no open world or deep story here, just pure arcade survival energy. It's the kind of game you pick up for a quick session and end up playing way longer than you expected. Definitely worth checking out if you like your survival with more shooting and less scavenging. Next up, Gatewalkers. This one blends survival mechanics with isometric co-op action, and it's way more intense than it looks at first glance. You and your squad are basically interdimensional explorers, dropping into hostile worlds where everything, from the environment to the wildlife, is trying to kill you. There's permadeath-style pressure, limited inventory, and gear that degrades over time. You have to manage hunger, temperature, and stamina while fighting off enemies in real-time combat. It's got a bit of that Diablo vibe, but with the added stress of survival layered on top. Each gate drops you into a completely different biome, so you're constantly adapting. On Switch, it runs decently, though it definitely feels like a game that shines more in co-op. Next over on the list, The Wandering Village. Now this one's a bit different. It's a city builder, yeah, but with a strong survival backbone. You're managing a village that's literally built on the back of a giant roaming creature. Sounds wild? It is. You've got to balance food, air quality, housing, and research, all while the creature wanders through toxic wastelands, lush forests, and who knows what else. The survival part comes in heavy when the environment turns hostile. Your crops might die, poison might spread, and suddenly you're scrambling just to keep your people alive. It's a slower-paced experience compared to other games on this list, but don't let the chill art style fool you. Behind those cozy visuals is a constant sense of pressure, where every decision could mean the difference between life and extinction. Next up, No Man's Sky. Yeah, it's been around for a while, but the Switch version keeps getting better, and with the new updates and Switch 2 enhancements on the horizon, it's more relevant than ever. You're dropped into a vast, procedurally generated universe with absolutely nothing, and from there, it's up to you to survive. Harsh planets, toxic storms, aggressive wildlife, and oxygen meters constantly ticking down. This is survival at a cosmic scale. You'll be mining resources, upgrading gear, building outposts, and slowly turning a dangerous galaxy into your playground. What makes it special is how chill or intense you can make it. Want to fight pirates? Go for it. Want to just explore planets and survive the elements? That's an option too. No Man's Sky has come a long way, and on Switch it's finally feeling like the full experience, packed with depth, danger, and endless adventure. Next up, Above Snakes. This one takes survival into the wild frontier, but with a cool twist. You're not just surviving the Old West, you're building it tile by tile. You gather resources, craft gear, and expand your world using a modular system that lets you choose what comes next. Each new piece of land brings fresh threats, from wild animals to undead horrors, and managing your hunger, health, and sanity becomes a constant battle. The visuals are stylized, but don't let that fool you. This game can get brutal fast. There's base building, farming, and even light RPG elements baked into the loop. It's slower paced than some of the others on this list, but the combination of survival mechanics and world building makes it stand out. Definitely one to check out if you're looking for something fresh in the genre. Now this one's still under wraps, but early info points to a solid evolution of the original Astroneer formula. You're exploring strange planets, gathering resources, and surviving harsh alien environments, but Glitchwalkers is adding new biomes, more hazards, and deeper co-op systems. Survival isn't just about oxygen management anymore. Terrain itself can turn against you, and strange anomalies mess with physics and time. There's still that satisfying loop of digging, building, and crafting, but this time it's layered with way more unpredictability. Visually, it's still bright and chill, but the survival elements are getting ramped up in all the right ways. If you liked the original Astroneer and wanted more tension and chaos in your cosmic sandbox, this looks like it's heading in the right direction. Next up, Undying. This one's pretty different. You play as a mom who's been bitten during a zombie outbreak, and you know your time's running out. So instead of just surviving, your job is to teach your kid everything he needs to know before it's too late. You're scavenging, crafting, managing food and supplies, but also passing those skills on, because eventually you won't be there. It's emotional, yeah, but it's also got solid survival mechanics underneath. There's tension in every choice, and that slow transformation adds a really unique layer to the whole experience. It's not flashy or action-heavy, but it sticks with you. If you're into survival games with heart, this one's worth a look. Next up, Witch It. This one flips the survival formula on its head with a hide-and-seek twist. You're either a witch using shape-shifting magic to blend into the environment, or a hunter trying to sniff them out. It's lighthearted, but make no mistake, it's all about outlasting your enemies in tense, fast-paced rounds. Survival here doesn't mean managing hunger or building shelters. It means staying hidden, using your powers smartly, and not getting caught. The art style is cartoony, but the gameplay can get pretty intense, especially in tight maps where every move counts. On Switch, it's a smooth experience whether you're playing solo or jumping into quick online matches. It's not your typical survival game, but the stakes and strategy still fit the vibe. If you're looking for something fun, competitive, and different, it's a solid pick. And finally, wrapping up the list, Bendy and the Dark Revival. This is the kind of survival horror that trades realism for pure atmosphere. You're stuck in a nightmarish animation studio where ink flows like blood and every hallway feels cursed. Survival here is all about timing, dodging twisted enemies, managing scarce resources, and solving creepy puzzles while trying not to lose your mind. There's some light combat, but you're not a powerhouse. You're prey, and it always feels like something's watching. The art direction is incredible, mixing vintage cartoon charm with full-on dread. On Switch, it holds up surprisingly well, keeping the tension high and the style intact. As a final entry, it's a reminder that survival doesn't always come down to crafting and hunger bars. Sometimes it's just making it through the next room in one piece. This one drops you into a radioactive hellscape deep in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, and survival here is all about smart planning and hard choices. You're crafting weapons, building up your base, and sneaking through contaminated zones filled with soldiers, monsters, and psychological nightmares. It mixes stealth, resource management, and branching story paths that actually respond to your decisions. The sci-fi twist keeps things fresh, with time travel elements layered over the survival gameplay. The Premium Edition includes all DLC and upgrades, making it the full package for Switch players. It's not your typical run-and-gun survival. This one's about tension, consequences, and staying one step ahead of everything trying to kill you.
Misha, we can't! We have to fall back! The pressure's dropping! Downstairs! Now! Go! Go! Go!
And that's the list. A solid mix of creepy, chill, and straight-up chaotic survival games. Some already out, some on the way, but all worth keeping an eye on if you're into staying alive against the odds. Let us know which ones you're picking up, and as always, thanks for watching.